Morning, and greetings from the sanctuary on this chilly and wet last day of October. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading's Sunday worship service. We are a regional church serving communities north of Boston, and with our online outreach, individuals throughout the United States. My name is Allison Sillers. I am a member of the worship arts and tech teams, and my pronouns are she and her. Today, we gather in this strange but now familiar virtual world to create a space to grow in spirit, relationship, and compassion, where we nurture and explore individual spirituality, build a committed and loving community, and help heal our world. We welcome you no matter your age, gender identity, or sexual orientation, differing abilities, cultural or religious background, spiritual beliefs, or political perspective. We welcome you if this has been your spiritual home for 5 years or 50, if you are a member, a regular visitor, or have just stopped in once or twice. If this is your first time with us, we are so happy you've joined us. Please check out our webpage for more information about UUCR. Here you can find details about our church community, sign up for the weekly newsletter, and find the contact information for Melissa Martin, our member services coordinator, who can answer any of your questions. If you are watching this service during the initial broadcast at 10 a.m. on October 31st, please join us after the service for our social hour via Zoom. This is a great way to keep connected and check in with others within our church community. The link to this Zoom meeting can be found in the weekly UUCR newsletter. I hope to see you there. This week, many of us with children have been watching the news closely. On the eve of new vaccine announcements, as we look towards a time when we can begin to gather again in body as well as spirit for worship and fellowship, I'd like to direct your attention to a survey the reopening team sent out this week. This survey is short, and it will help us as we make decisions in the coming weeks about in-person gatherings. Please take some time and give us your honest responses. We really want to hear from you. Thank you for being with us this morning. Please know that we believe that you belong here. You belong here, maybe just for the next hour, but we hope for longer. You belong here, and we are glad that you are joining us today. Later in our service, we will officially collect the offering, but for now, I'll take a moment to remind you about our Share the Plate program and our October recipient. Since November of 2019, UUCR has been donating half of the funds received in our weekly collection to a nonprofit organization that shares our UU values. This month, we share the plate with NAGLY, the North Shore Alliance of Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, and Transgender Youth. NAGLY's mission is to honor, respect, educate, and empower LGBTQ youth ages 10 to 23. They offer programs, meetings, clubs, activities, and events for LGBTQ youth, their families, and allies so that they can come together and support one another. Their offerings include regular support meetings, as well as education, leadership training, and social opportunities. NAGLY is located in Salem and serves LGBTQ youth on the North Shore and beyond. It is one of the largest LGBTQ youth centers in the country. Their facility includes a youth lounge with comfy furniture and audiovisual equipment, a library with computers and books, a boutique with gently used clothing, an information center, a health and wellness room, and a meeting and recreation space. To donate online, watch for the link in the chat, or simply go to www.uureading.org and click on the donate button. If this is your first time with us, your presence here is gift in and of itself. Today, our worship leaders are Katie, our ministerial intern, Sally, our director of lifespan religious education, and Melissa, our member services and volunteer coordinator and interim congregational administrator. Our music director, Mary Cunningham, is leading the ministry of music in this service and will be singing, and Trevor Behrens, our pianist, is playing the piano. Linda, our office administrator, and our tech team for today, Al, Will, and Dawn, are supporting us behind the scenes. Now settle in and enjoy our All Souls service as I welcome Katie McQuaige-Lucas.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Katie, your ministerial intern, and my pronouns are she and hers. Welcome on this a bit blustery, although warmer day. As we kindle this flame, we honor and we remember those who have passed into the mystery. Their brightness lives on in our vision. Their courage lives on in our commitments, and their love continues to bless the world through us. I'd like to invite Sally forward to light our chalice. Please join me in the words in the order of service or in the chat. In the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment we gather this day, may the flame we now kindle be to us a symbol of the holiness we seek. And now please join me in our affirmation. We are Unitarian Universalists, the church of the open mind, the loving heart, and the helping hands. Our opening hymn is number 360, Here We Have Gathered. And again, words will be in the order of service and the chat.
Here we have gathered side by side, circle of kinship, come and step inside. May all who seek here find a kindly word. May all who speak here feel they have been heard. Sing now together this our heart's own song. Here we have gathered, called to celebrate days of our lifetime, matters small and great. We of all ages, women, children, men, infants and sages, sharing what we can, sing now together this our heart's own song. Life has its battles, sorrows and regret, but in the shadows let us not forget. Good morning. I'm Sally Lieberman, and my pronouns are she and her. This morning, we have held aside time to remember our loved ones who've passed from this life, our beloved people and beloved creatures who have died. Each year, it is our ritual to offer a service of remembrance. We call it All Souls, and together we create an altar of remembrance. This ritual reminds us that this is important. We do ritual. Ritual means keeping time for something that is essential, to mark it, to hold space for it. And then those times and events and feelings that happen around a ritual are seated in our very being, in our memory and in our souls. Ritual. Today's ritual is deep. We will be talking and thinking about people and creatures whom we've loved. We set our altar of remembrance this week, and some of us were able to visit it and leave photos or mementos representing their loved ones. But not all of us were able to visit this altar. So I would like to invite you to create your own altar. You could do this at home. You could do this really anywhere, as long as you bring your time, your intention, and your imagination to focus. I want to show you here. I have set an altar, and with it, I've set my mother's orange scarf. It's woolly and it's itchy, and she loved it so, even though it scratched the back of her neck. And I've set here also this beautiful necklace, a gift to me from one of the most generous, kindest people I've ever known, somebody who didn't have much if we counted worldly possessions, but the greatest, most generous heart and spirit. And here I have some fur from a very sweet dog named Sadie, who was so very kind and fun to little boys that she grew up with. And I have here a photo of my gentle sister. I have a sister who lived a life that was unknown and unseen to many people. And she's gone now. But because I know her stories and I can remember her with you here today, I feel that that is how she stays with us. Ours is a community of memory and hope. And today especially, we're holding the memory of our lost loved ones right up close. Here in our community, we bring forward the memory of everyone who has ever been with us, who's ever joined in work or play or story. We who are left here to live on earth get to decide how we remember our loved ones lost. We can share stories, we can share memories, we can feel into a new way of being with those who live on the other side of mystery. Each week, we light our candle of community, reminding ourselves that we are everyone who has ever been with us. We are here holding the space for those who will come after us. We light this candle with great gratitude, knowing that we rest on shoulders of people long gone, and we have great hope for those who will come. Let's breathe deeply, get settled. For this time, find ourselves safe and warm and welcome, and let's go into prayer.
Infinite mystery, in whom we live, move, and have our being. From you all things emerge, and to you all things will return. We come together this morning with gratitude for the love we share here together, for the love in all or any parts of our lives. We know that this too is part of the mystery that underlies our lives. Mysterious presence, be with us this morning as we name our losses and our sorrows. Remind us that we are not alone, for you are present, and we are among others who also grieve and who know what it is to suffer loss. Help us to remember that our lives are sorrow and joy intermingled, and that the pain of empty chairs runs alongside the joys of new life, of new friendships, and of new loves. Give us the courage and the hope to keep our hearts open, that we might always know your presence and be open to the possibilities of love. Amen, and may it be so.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul.
In Blackwater Woods by Mary Oliver. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds. And every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this: the fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go.
The wheel of the year keeps turning, and now the days are growing shorter and colder too. The leaves are turning the trees to flaming gold and red. We've lost some leaves to storm winds, but ultimately even those leaves that survive the autumn storms will fall when winter fully arrives. As winter approaches, we enter a season of memory. In parts of ancient Europe, this time is the one where the barriers between the worlds are thin, so that the living and the dead are close enough to reconnect for a time. The Christians who came later called it Hallowtide or Holy Time, the 3 days of Halloween, All Saints, and All Souls. In many places, the Christian observance is merged with local practices, most notably and beautifully in Mexico. Other cultures and peoples may choose other moments on the calendar, but the need to remember our beloved dead may be universal. In this, our season of memory, names and faces may come to us. They might be ancestors of our bodies, of our minds, of our spirits. Some losses may be recent. Some might be from long ago. We may think of these people with joy, or we may think of them with sadness. But however they have returned to us, whatever feelings we might have at this moment, we must acknowledge the impact they have had upon us. They have shaped us in some way, making us who we are. They live on through us. Our memories of them and the legacies they have left us ensure they live on. Today, as those memories reignite their presence in our lives, we will light candles, sacred flames to honor their bright spirits. Since we are not all here together, as we light these candles, please feel free to put the names of your beloveds in the chat, however you are watching, or say them out loud wherever you are, so that our community can join you in remembrance. And if you have set up an altar of your own nearby, please light a candle there. For the beloved dead of this community, lost this year and in years past, we light candles. This year, we especially name Carolyn Grace, Alice Morica, and Jamie Mon. For the beloved dead of the larger community beyond our doors, of which we are members, we light candles. For the beloved dead of our own families and the beloved dead among our friends and other loved ones, we light candles. For our beloved animal companions. For those beloved dead not our own, belonging to the larger interdependent web of which we are a part, we light candles. Now, let us take a moment of silence. Spirit of life, we know that you are present even in death, and that death is but a part of life. Be with us as we hold our memories close this morning, so that we might hold them with grace. Help us to receive legacies with gratitude and to build up the legacies that we will leave in our turn. Help us to relinquish that which needs to be released, so that we might hold close that which serves life and love and justice. May it be so. So in one of my classes this week, we were asked to make some lists of all of the people that have nurtured our souls and our spirits, the people who have in some way shaped us and formed us into who we are today. Many of us were listing ministers and pastors, teachers, but a common thread running through all of the small groups discussing our lists was grandmothers. Not necessarily because our grandmothers were overtly spiritual people. Some of our grandmothers didn't attend church or ever talk about spirituality. But all of us said that we learned how to love, how to care for families and our communities from our grandmothers. This little 3-day season of Halloween, All Saints, and All Souls is traditionally for two separate groups. The first one, All Saints Day, that's the day set aside to celebrate the saints and the martyrs who have gone before. And it's a fairly inclusive day to gather up any saints that aren't in obvious places in the calendar. But it's the second day of November, All Souls. That's the day to honor all the ordinary saints who have gone before. These are the people that don't have a date on any calendar. They worked for justice in their immediate spheres. They cared for their loved ones, and they lived quietly and unobtrusively, but they left behind legacies of caring. We most clearly see their gifts to us when we've lost them. It is in their absence that we begin to understand what they had given us. Our sorrow is in direct proportion to how much love there was in the relationship. And the size of our sorrow is the shape of the hole that they've left in our lives. I lost my last grandparent over 10 years ago. My father's mother was the grandparent I was closest to, the one that I had the longest, and the one who most shaped my ideals of love and care. She moved back to the house she was born in and lived surrounded by nieces and nephews and grandnieces and grandnephews. And she was one of the youngest of 14 siblings, so she had quite a lot of nieces and nephews and grandnieces and grandnephews. And she showered them all with affection and with food and with knitwear, because she was, after all, a Southern country woman, and that's how you show your affection. She was a Baptist, and while she never pressured my own branch of the family black sheep to attend church, I know she got down on her knees every single night to pray for her family by name. And that was her way. She turned it over to God, but she made sure she took care of her end of the deal. She made sure that she loved us and that she fed us and that we had everything we needed. God has responsibilities, but so did she, and she knew that and she lived it. I don't knit, but I have her knitting needles, and they're at home on my own altar today. Her recipe books and her recipe cards are in my kitchen. And I have with me a hat that she made for me many years ago, probably when I was in high school, maybe middle school. I didn't use it often when I was in Texas, but these days it comes out every winter for a good bit of use. And every time I wear it, I think of her. Each of us has in our lives someone who was an ordinary saint. And it might not have been your grandmother, maybe a spouse, maybe a parent. It might be someone with no blood ties at all, a friend or a neighbor. Someone who taught us how to show love and to live it out in our daily lives. And an ordinary saint isn't a perfect person, and they don't perform showy miracles, but they are faithful to the callings of their hearts and their spirits as best they are able. And so today is our day to remember them all. Today is the day we breathe new life into their legacies so that they live again for a little while as the candles burn on our altars here and perhaps at home. Today is a day to pair our sorrow in their absences with our gratitude for their presence in our lives. Today is a day to say their names and to honor them. And I would like to take this moment to name my grandmother and also my partner Chris's grandmother, who died this August, Ethel McQuaige and Bobby Lee Lucas. And so please take another moment of silence to think of the names you said earlier in the service, or to name anyone you had not yet named. When we go into the world this week, and in the coming season of darkening days and candlelight, know that you are never alone. Helen Keller said that we bereaved are not alone. We belong to the greatest company in all the world, the company of those who have known suffering. When it seems that our sorrow is too great to be borne, let us think of the great family of heavy-hearted into which our grief has given us entrance, and inevitably we will feel about us their arms, their sympathy, and their understanding. Believe when you are most unhappy that there is something for you to do in the world. So long as you can sweeten another's pain, life is not in vain. We learned from our beloveds, our own ordinary saints, how to be in the world. We learned how to love and care for others. Let us take those lessons and pass them on, knowing the legacies or increasing the legacies left to us and building legacies of our own, knowing that we are never truly alone. And I'd like to close with this responsive reading from Reverend Leslie Takahashi. The response is, "Through this, we know immortality." Please join me. In the daily weave of our lives, those who have died are still strong, guiding threads. Theirs is the golden glimmer, or perhaps the brilliant red or the melancholy blue. Still, they are part of the whole cloth of our lives. They are the ancestors, the goers before. Through this, we know immortality. In the hour-to-hour rush of our daily tasks, they travel with us through something they taught us, which is now ours to do, through something they loved, which is now ours to carry out, through something we shared, which is now ours alone, and yet not. Through this, we know immortality. In the minute-to-minute grasp of where we are, we remember the joys our departed gave us, which opened us up to hope, the sorrows we knew together, which taught us strength, the life shared, which is now ours to steward. Through this, we know immortality. In the second-to-second pulse of life, we sense the spirit of those we have loved and lost. This presence is too shy for naming, too amorphous for full knowing, and yet as real as the days we shared. Through this, we know immortality. They are more than remembered. They are memory itself. For what we love lives on in the way our beloved dead accompany us through our life, their words and wisdom our guide, their humor our relief, their restless concern for the world our charge. Through this, we know immortality. And now, may we build upon our own legacies of caring through our offering, including sharing the plate with Nagley.
For our offertory this morning, I'll be singing Remember Me, which is a sweet song from the movie Coco. And the message that it shares is that our loved ones, our ancestors that we have lost, are always with us if we just remember them. Today, I'm remembering my dear sister-in-law, Anne Marie, who left us in August. Thinking of her, I hope you have someone to think of as I sing. Remember me, though I have to say goodbye. Remember me, don't let it make you cry. For even though I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart. Remember me. Though I have to travel far, remember me. Each time you hear a sad guitar, know that I'm with you the only way until you're in my arms again. Remember me. Remember me. Though I have to say goodbye, remember me. Don't let it make you cry, for even though I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart. Remember me. Though I have to travel far, remember me. Each time you hear a sad guitar, know that I'm with you the only way that I can be. Until you're in my arms again, remember me.
Good morning. I'm Melissa Martin, your Member Services and Volunteer Coordinator and the Interim Congregational Administrator. My pronouns are she and her. This is the part of our service called Our Congregational Life, where we invite you to become more deeply engaged with the very full life of our church. It wasn't that long ago that all of our offerings were limited to online. And today you'll hear about many opportunities, both online and in person. So please bear with me as I run through the highlights this week that has an invitation for friends of all ages and abilities. In just a few minutes, I'll share some Halloween related events for you today. But for now, I'm pleased to share that tomorrow we kick off this year's Undecorate the Tree gift drive for Christmas. Last year, the pandemic changed everything about the way we do things, but it did not alter our commitment to our Undecorate the Tree gift drive. This is our annual project where friends and members of UUCR ensure that 60 children under the care of the Department of Children and Families in Wakefield have a very Merry Christmas. It's now time for us to once again step forward and make that commitment to participate this year. There are various ways for you to either sponsor an entire family, sponsor the complete list for a child, buy 1 or 2 gifts, or make a monetary donation. And like last year, all sponsoring selections will be done through email. If you're interested in participating this year, please start by emailing undecorate@uureading.org and indicate at which level you would like to help. You'll then receive an email acknowledgement with your options, as well as drop-off procedures for gifts that will happen during December 4th and 5th weekend. Thank you for making this vital project possible. Next, I want to invite you to save the date for our online UCR committee fair. Beginning next week, we're going to share videos made by and about our committees by their leaders. These will be shared on our private Facebook member page, so please reach out to me if you're not connected there, and I'll help you have access to the videos. Then you're invited to join us for Social Hour on Sunday, November 14th, where leaders of these groups will be on hand to answer your questions. Leaders are reminded to please send in your videos this week and let us know if you can host your breakout room on November 14th. This week's church programming includes our regular offerings as well as several highlights. This includes this Wednesday evening, our pastoral care team. They invite you to attend a Zoom service on the grief of transition at 7 p.m. The team is offering this meaningful service in hopes of supporting congregants as they continue to process any grief they may feel around the loss of our minister and his role here at UCR. We hope you'll consider attending this for additional opportunity of sharing and support. Later this week, on Saturday afternoon, we hope you and your family will come out to church for our annual community leaf raking on campus. Our annual fall raking day is a fun time to see church friends and spend a Saturday afternoon in the crisp, clear autumn fall day. Friends of all ages, especially children and youth, and their grown-ups are invited to participate, and you can see the newsletter for those details. As Allison mentioned earlier, our reopening team survey is out, and your feedback is invaluable. The team will dive right into what you're sharing with us this week. For those of you who have not yet completed the brief survey, please do. This is a really important opportunity for us to provide your specific perspective and to help us plan for the next stage of our regathering efforts together. The survey deadline is tomorrow, November 1st. A reminder that next Sunday, November 7th, our raffle tickets will be pulled at our social hour after service. So join us then to find out who will take home this year's beautiful Dancing with Joy raffle quilt that's been hanging in our sanctuary in previous weeks. For today, please join the social hour immediately after this service. It'll include this month's themed breakout room beginning at 11:15. It's a small group space that will reflect on this month's theme on cultivating relationship, where participants will share thoughts on this morning's rituals of remembrance and consider how we engage in relationship with those who have passed on. Later this afternoon, families and friends of all ages are invited to come to campus from 12:30 to 2 for some sweet and spooky Halloween fun. Our youth group is decorating for fun, and all are invited to come find a pumpkin or some other treasure. Those who made online purchases for the Kris Kringle Fair are also invited to campus today to pick up those. And later, you're invited to join our neighbors, the First Congregational Church, who are hosting a trunk or treat at the Reading Town Hall parking lot at 2 p.m. today. You can see the newsletter for the details that includes a list of donations that they are collecting. As I began telling you a few moments ago, there are so very many opportunities for connection here at UCR, either in person or online, and we are so grateful to have you part of our congregational life.
For our closing hymn, I'm going to sing Swimming to the Other Side, which is a wonderful song by Pat Humphreys, who's a singer-songwriter, activist, and member of Emma's Revolution, which you may have heard of. Many of you know this song. I'll start with the chorus, and the words should be in the chat. And the chorus comes back 3 times, and there's verses with lots of words. I hope you enjoy singing Swimming to the Other Side. We are living neath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power, some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forwards with my senses open. Imperfection, it'll be my crime. In humility, I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living neath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, finding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living neath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We
we can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living neath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side.
Please join me in extinguishing our chalice. The words are in the order of service and in the chat. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts. My benediction this morning is from Reverend Leah Derlin Jones. For those who came before us, we offer gratitude and thanks. May their memories be a blessing. May we feel surrounded by their love. As we go forth from this time and place, let us be inspired by their courage, their wisdom, and their dreams. Let us honor them by doing the work of living boldly, loving mightily, and creating heaven on earth. Amen, and blessed be.